This is the Palin Update on Saranet Radio. I'm Kevin Scholla.
We've got to take back the Senate, and Missouri is a must-win state. The way we do that is to have someone like Sarah Stillman be able to run, even if it's as a third-party candidate, to be able to run and help us take this back.
We'll have the latest on the Todd Akin mess in Missouri. Governor Palin endorses 3 more candidates. Wayne Brady's mea culpa to the Palins, and Todd Palin marches on Rambo style. Well, Sarah Palin continues to make an impact on the 2012 election season, and this past week she endorsed a congressional candidate in Florida, and his story is unique. Ted Yoho is a veterinarian, a small business owner, and a family man. This Christian conservative Republican hopes to represent North Central Florida and put an end to politics as usual. In endorsing him, Governor Palin said Dr. Ted Yoho isn't afraid of hard work. To put himself through college and veterinary school, he worked nights in a vegetable packing house and summers in construction. After graduating, he started and grew his own successful business. Yes, President Obama, Ted built that himself. And now he's running for the House. We're happy to have him here with us today. Dr. Ted Yoho, thank you, sir, for joining us on the Palin Update on Saranet Radio.
Kevin, I appreciate you having me on. I'm excited.
Your candidacy has captured the imagination of a lot of people, not your regular politician, not by a long shot. You're a large animal veterinarian. Very interesting. Can you tell us about your background?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I guess we're not the typical candidate. I'm a business owner and a family man. I've been married to my awesome wife, Carolyn, for the last 37 years. And we're the proud parents of 3 children. In addition, I'm a Christian, conservative Republican who's called North Central Florida home for the last 35 years. I've owned my own business for the last 25 years. I've recently sold it, and I've practiced veterinary medicine for a little over 29 years.
Governor Palin always talks about sending regular Americans to Washington to serve, do their best, and then return to private life, just like our founders called for. You've taken it even further. You'll term limit yourself?
Yeah, and, Governor Palin just kind of set a new tone in the country for politicians. Being the hockey mom that went to the PTA, that became the governor, that became the vice presidential candidate, and she just really rocked the establishment. And with that in mind, our whole thing is running against the career politicians, because what we found, just in our own lives and looking at what was wrong with Washington and talking to my clientele and the business owners, is we determined that the career politicians either led us to where we were at or they failed to prevent it. Neither's acceptable any longer. And we had enough of that, and that was our campaign slogan, had enough. And we realized that the only way we can change Washington is by changing the type of person we sent there. And so that's where I came up with the 8-year term limit.
And your message of had enough, that really strikes a chord, I think, with conservatives and says it all, doesn't it, about the waste and the cronyism in Washington right now?
Yeah, pick your topic, whether it's Social Security, immigration, lack of energy independence, a policy to get us energy independent. Or a budget. A budget would be nice. We've got to do that in our household, in our business. And they don't bring problems. They don't have resolution to these. And so we've had enough. And you can insert whatever you've had enough of in there, and I think it'll fit.
What does the Palin support mean to you? Have you seen an impact already?
Oh, definitely. We've just had a lot of people comment that they're really excited about it. We're excited about it. She's just, she's the new type of politician, not your entrenched politician. And we've had just a lot of excitement around our campaign with that. I think forget how many hits we've had on our website since we've done that, but it's growing exponentially.
Did you ever hear from Speaker Boehner? I know there was some foot dragging there after the primary win.
Well, that was reported in the press, and they asked me that question. He called, and unfortunately I wasn't available, and he left a voice message, and it was a very nice message. Said he looks forward to meeting us and working with us if we make it through the general, and our intention is to run at this general very hard. So I mean, he reached out, and I know those guys are super busy, and I didn't expect him to call that quick, to be honest with you.
You beat a 24-year incumbent in the primary. It goes to show if you can reach the voters, we really can make a difference. How did you do it? Because we've seen other great candidates across this country who just couldn't beat the establishment's money or name recognition. So what were you able to do to break through?
Oh, I mean, we developed the pure and just a great grassroots effort. We had a very defined, clear mission statement that we were in this race running specifically against Mr. Stearns. We got into this race March of 2011 before anybody else was willing to do that. And we set a plan in motion. And we went ahead and we put our plan, we had our plan and we made a plan, and then we worked that plan through execution. We hired a young campaign manager named Kat Kamek, and she's our only paid employee. And then she amassed an army of interns and volunteers that were passionate about this cause. And then we worked the plan through execution. And I've learned early in life that, you work like it depends on you, but pray like it depends on God, and it does. And, we've always run our businesses, and my wife and I, anything we've done, we've had that same philosophy. And, we were just blessed in the outcome of this. The Lord blessed us. And I tell you what we were really blessed with was the support of the grassroots. And we worked it, and it turned into a grass fire that, just caught hold.
Well, I can say with my small dealings with Kat, too, she really is great setting up this interview and talking to her, so I can echo those sentiments. Will you try to tackle some animal issues if elected? Your background may give you some perspective, others don't have when it comes to animals and pets, often sometimes forgot about, but there are some issues there that Congress can make some differences on.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of issues that we need to deal with. The animal issues, to be honest with you, our message that we sent out was this election's more about stopping socialism than a lot of the social issues. And I know those are very important. And, to talk about some of those issues when you've got $16 trillion in debt, the high unemployment for the period of time that we've been unemployed in this country at the high level, would be like two guys arguing on the Titanic about paying a bar bill. Our ship is sinking, and we've got to save the ship. And then a lot of these other issues will take care of themselves. You talked about the animal issues. What we saw when the economy turned down, we saw more people just giving horses away or tying them up to a telephone pole. And then you put on there that they closed all the meat slaughterhouses in America for the horses, and it just complicated the issue. And it's been documented through the different agencies, the animal neglect cases that went up because of government policies. And so we want to correct those too. So, there's a lot that needs to be dealt with.
You make a good point, though. It is about jobs. It is about the economy. Do you see that in the presidential race right now? A lot of smoke and mirrors, the administration trying to talk about things other than the jobs and the economy, whether it's Todd Akin or whether it's different social issues, this phony war on women that they talk about, instead of talking about jobs. Is that something you think Obama's trying to play against Romney right now?
That's what I see. And, and it really does come down to that. When we did our surveys and just talking to people, we did a lot of just interviews with people over the last 3.5 years, and it's the economy, and it's the economy. And then people were concerned about the budget. And the third thing that polled was people wanted to get back to the core values of this country, our core values, our founding principles, and the Constitution. So they can argue about all this other stuff, and Mr. Obama can talk about Mr. Akin and make that a big point, but it comes down to the economy and getting back to our core values.
You have to be on top of everything when you run for office on any level, and you were misrepresented recently on stem cell research. For those who may have read the erroneous report, can you clarify what happened there?
Yeah, I'd be glad to, and I appreciate the opportunity. I've got a strong background in science, strong biology degree, and I'm also a Christian conservative, and there is no doubt in my mind that life begins at conception. But also with my science background, I know the value of stem cell research, and you can get stem cells from so many different areas, like from the placenta of a healthy born baby, and you can get it from the umbilical cord. You can also, what they're finding out is stem cells can be harvested from the adult patient from a cell called a fibroblast, and they can reprogram it and put it back into a stem cell. So there's really no need for embryonic stem cell, and that was a questionnaire. The question was like answering, do you still beat your dog? You can't answer that question properly because either way you're guilty. And so I do believe in stem cell research, but from different sources. And so I appreciate the opportunity to talk about that.
What are you talk about jobs and the economy. Are there things specific to Florida that folks across the country may not know about when it comes to economy and jobs? Are there things you have to do in the Sunshine State maybe differently than the rest of the country, or different jobs that are available or not available in Florida that should be?
Well, Florida's lost, we're a growth state, and so construction is a big sector of our economy, but the state of Florida lost over 26,000 jobs in the month of June. The thing that's saving Florida as far as jobs is our agricultural sector. Agriculture is strong and it's growing, and this district that I'm able to run in and represent if we win the November election is a strong agricultural area. Plus, it's got a lot of construction. So if we can get the federal government out of the way of businesses so that businesses do what they do best, they grow the economy and create jobs, we've got a plan for that. The jobs will be back in construction. But in the meantime, we're so happy to see the agricultural jobs going. In fact, we've seen a trend in the land. People are selling it for subdivision, but it's gaining value in agricultural land. So we're really excited about that.
Well, we're very excited about your run, sir. What is your website so folks could help you out here?
Our website is www.tedyoho, and that's spelled YOHO.com. And, I would encourage, if we can encourage people to go to our website, if they believe in our philosophy and where we stand, and they'll realize that we're somebody that will stand up and be a strong voice, not just a vote in Washington, anything they can send our way as far as donations is much appreciated.
And we will link that for you, sir, and hopefully get you some more help in more ways than one. I have to let you know, we are Gators football fans here. In fact, my 4-year-old daughter recently, you'll appreciate this, had a My Little Pony / Tim Tebow party for her birthday. So,
that is great. I don't know if you heard, but the night of our victory celebration, I did a Tebow.
There you go.
Because that young man, he's just changed the course of how people look at religion, and he's not afraid to talk about it. And then you get somebody like Governor Palin, that she speaks her conviction, and she's changed the face of politics. And I admire both of them, and I'm proud to be associated with the Florida Gators. That makes us part of the Gator Nation. And Governor Palin, we're just really excited about her endorsement.
Well, it's funny you bring them both up in the same light because they both come from great families, too. We talked to Todd Palin the other day. You see the things that Bristol Palin's doing. Sarah's parents, it goes there. And the same thing from Tim Tebow. Just my daughter having this party, my Tebow's parents sent her a nice little note and a little picture of Tim autographed. So,
wow.
Really great folks. Did you ever work on a real gator? I mean, you're the animal guy.
Yes, I've worked on some real gators, too.
Wow. This is interesting. We know the pork needs to be trimmed in D.C., and there are plenty of weasels and worms, so we hope you get the chance to help the comeback and get you in there. Dr. Yoho, all the best.
Thank you. You'll get a kick if you got a second. I had this client said, he goes, you know what, Washington's broke, Congress is as sick as a horse, and it's time we send a veterinarian because they got Potomac horse fever up there, and you got a vaccine for it.
Listen, you got and Governor Palin's behind, all of you. We have the doctor, we have the dentist, we have the rancher out in Nebraska, and Deb Fisher. I mean, this is what the founders wanted, right? People from all walks of life, not just lawyers, talking about their 16 degrees and not being able to have any common sense in the real world.
They have so many degrees, some of those people, they look like a thermometer.
We got to do this again after November when you win. We'll have the Yoho stand-up.
All right. Thank you, man.
Doctor, thank you so much. Good luck to you. We'll talk again.
Kevin, thank you for the opportunity, and have a great day.
Visit TedYoho.com, a great guy with a great name, TedYoho.com. That's TEDYOHO.com. Governor Palin has praised Dr. Yoho for his underdog status and perseverance. She says candidates like Ted aren't running because it's easy, and they don't plan on going to Washington to just go along to get along. No, these underdogs are running to fight for sudden and relentless reform, and they know the hard work it will require to make it happen. To see Governor Palin's complete endorsement of Ted Yoho, check out Governor Palin's Facebook page. Along with Yoho, Governor Palin also endorsed Representative Paul Gosar's re-election to Congress in Arizona. Palin endorsed Gosar, a dentist, in 2010 as well. The governor also officially endorsed Dan Bongino for U.S. Senate in Maryland. Bongino trying to turn blue Maryland red and upset the entrenched liberal incumbent. We had Dan Bongino, a former Secret Serviceman and NYPD cop, right here on the Palin Update a few weeks ago. Check out Dan Bongino's appearance at SarahNetRadio.net. Bongino really hit the national scene after Sarah Palin commended one of his passionate speeches while she spoke at a Ted Cruz rally. Bongino has been full steam ahead ever since. Well, embattled Missouri Congressman Todd Akin is reaffirming plans to stay in Missouri's U.S. Senate race despite a political uproar over remarks he made about rape and pregnancy. And Sarah Palin is telling Akin to fold him, with Akin still hanging in the race for U.S. Senate despite his legitimate rape comments. Governor Palin has another possible idea. She says if Akin does not bow out, perhaps Sarah Steelman can get back into the race as a third-party candidate or even a write-in candidate. Palin says you need to know when to step back, and she predicts Akin is going to lose if he doesn't. Many prominent Republicans, including Mitt Romney, have also called on Akin to get out. He's even had threats against his family, but he continues to hang on. Too bad Missouri voters didn't pay attention to Governor Palin in the first place. They could have just nominated Steelman back in the primary. And after making a classless joke about Trig Palin, entertainer Wayne Brady issued an apology to Governor Palin and her family. Classy as always, Governor Palin accepted the apology without hesitation, saying, "Thank you, Wayne Brady. Trig truly is a blessing. I swear, to his family anyway, that extra chromosome he's got is a love chromosome. Thank you for your gracious comment today." What a class act Governor Palin is. By the way, Todd Palin's still alive on Stars Earned Stripes. Another impressive performance last week. The first dude and his op were teamed with Layla Ali and her service member. Be sure to tune into Stars Earned Stripes on NBC or on demand. Really worth the watch, and all for great causes. Big news here, ladies and gentlemen. We will be unveiling an extra show here and there throughout the next few weeks due to all the Palin news and endorsements. Plus, we're getting ever closer to Election Day, so along with our weekly installment of the Palin Update every week, keep an eye out for some bonus episodes as well. Folks, remember you can follow us on Twitter at SarahNetRadio, and we are on Facebook too, so please like SarahNet Radio on Facebook. And don't forget, the Palin Update's now on demand. Just head over to SarahNetRadio.net, pick the show you want to hear, and you can listen anywhere, anytime. That'll do it for this edition of the Palin Update on SarahNet Radio. Visit SarahNetRadio.net for continuing coverage of Governor Palin. I want to thank everyone here at SarahNet Radio. Thanks to Dr. Ted Yoho, and thank you for listening today. Please be sure to join us next time for another edition of the Palin Update. I'm Kevin Scholla. Have a pleasant day.